Just gotta quickly figure out what the fuck to do with 3 characters now.
It's a bit much for us to control all the others, I think.
Yeah, 1 character, yeah.
Shopping stream. Oh wait,
Yes, it's time for a new shopping episode.
we just did one of those.
Well, the
Yep.
three of us could the three of us could just go try to
4.
investigate the wine incident.
There's 4 of you, not
The,
3.
the 4 of us could go and just try to work out what's going on with the wine.
Yeah, Nightwing can't count.
What? Yeah, I can.
It's a shame the others were kidnapped and we have to save them now.
Oh, yeah. In the middle of the street, all of a sudden, they disappear. Be right back. 1 moment.
Hey, I'll just
Hello. Okay, so, well, I suppose we'll pick up where we left off, with the parts of the party going to buy food, and parts of the party going to, well, talk to, in a sense, Grakros handler, quote unquote, or elder. Well, he is the elder, but the closest person to report to, basically. Push to talk, Vines. Thank you.
Oh, it's push to talk.
Well, I heard some one.
Oh, that's going.
Yep.
I'll put it on push to talk.
Cheers, mate.
Sorry.
So, turning in the collar tip as well as a report, you then went back, regrouped at the halfway home, where you had a brief discussion about stuff, which I honestly do not fully remember.
Edgar talked George into giving me and him a few more days to come up
Yes,
with rent money.
that I fully remember because that is in the video on YouTube. The part after that where the party was talking, there's stuff I don't remember from that.
Yeah, thanks OBS.
Yeah, thanks OBS.
See, what
But
I
it
have in my
was
notes is-
something in regards with the talking about what transpired at the small chapel or whatever you could call it.
What happened in the chapel? Is that what you don't remember?
No, I remember that, but yeah, you guys had outside of the halfway home, between the party, you had a small talk about it.
I think it was mainly people ranting about how the system doesn't work.
that sounds
Probably.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the man and the system, you know.
The system, man. Not conspiracy theories, right? But no, something along those lines. So the party standing outside of the halfway home, all of a sudden, Aiden, Verin, and Virgil decides, let's actually grab lunch before we head out. So the 3 of them go inside and grab lunch, I
I didn't
suppose.
say he need lunch. He doesn't even eat.
How do you know?
True.
William just sort of stands outside of the thing. He doesn't really want to go in because he's sort of looks to the others. Should we like? I heard there's something about what do we do?
Well, we were told to go out into the southern forest.
Yeah, the deep forest.
And on the way, maybe we can stop by the guards and ask them what happens with the wine, like the innkeeper asked us.
Yeah, do that on the way out or the way back.
It's not like we can leave our compatriots behind, though, right?
They'll be, they're, they're here in the busy city. They'll be fine.
I suppose we can, like, wait outside the gates for them or something.
Sounds like a good plan. So let's go talk with the guards first, and we can see if we can investigate while we wait for
That's a
them.
plan. That's a plan. We'll see what's going on with the wine situation, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay, so what you basically tell the rest of the three who went in to grab some lunch, I suppose. What exactly do you tell them?
I think William just yelled into the doorway. We're going to go head on over to the guard house and check things out about this wine situation. We'll meet you outside the gate.
Okay, good to know. Good to
Don't
know.
mishear this.
Okay, so you close the door and, well, the day is yours. Where exactly do we intend to head?
Let's see now.
I think we all agreed to meet outside of we were going south because that's where we had to go.
Yeah, I do remember there was a brief discussion of maybe heading west and somehow turning south eventually to get into the
Before we leave, I do realize we're going to the south gate.
So as you open the door again, having exited, people coming in again, exiting, you opening the door to shout, and now opening again, George kind of just rolls his eyes at you, like, "Ugh." But the message is probably conveyed that you're heading to the
William just
south
sort of
gate.
shrugs and goes, "I'm sorry. I need to make sure we can regroup."
George just kind of waves a hand and sighs, giving you a nod.
He leaves. He goes.
Okay, so are the four of you heading to the south gate then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Being situated in a manner where you could either take like a few of the alleyways out towards the more main roadish leading towards the southern gate, or you could go on the west to east kind of main road and then cut down onto the south main road. Which would you like to do? Alleyways would be quicker.
William would sort of defer to the people who know the city more than he does, only being there for a week.
Well, I don't really know the alleyways that well, to be honest.
To be fair, I think the main road would be safer. But if we wanted to get there quick march, it would probably be the alleyways.
Why? What are
We
we
are
in
not
such a
in.
rush for?
Yeah, we are not in really in a rush.
That's fair point. Safest route. Let's just go by the main road.
Yes.
Okay. So this being a little bit before lunch, the road is fairly busy with, well, a handful of merchants going either way. There's just with and without carts, I'll add. There's a few of the more open storefronts with their windows and doors kind of on this main road through the city. Places seem bustling, and in front of a few of the places there's also kind of like small stalls for, well, all sorts of goods. There's small stalls for bread, small stalls for sausage, small stalls for plates, like wooden cutlery and stuff like that. There's all kinds of things, as now that you actually take a moment to walk and look at stuff. It's a fairly bustling city. Walking along the road, up ahead you see a small gathering of people around a table, which is not in the middle of the road, but still enough out into the road to kind of be a nuisance to people traveling, but also enough to decide to, be not being trouble to get around it. As you get a bit closer, you hear, it sounds kind of like an argument between a few individuals, and the people around this table seem to kind of be on either one side or the other.
William,
You cut out. Mines?
sorry, my mum's here. I don't want to.
Okay.
So are they playing a game or?
Okay. You just go.
Go ahead and give me a just a brief perception chip. Check. Not chip. What's a chip? I
Okay.
make words. A 14. From the quick glances you get from your somewhat lower point of view, there's one chair on each end of the table and one person sitting on each end. They're both leaning into the table. That's about what you can see from your point of view.
Okay.
Could William try to get close to this table, but sort of sneakily, so they can get a good position, but also not be just sort of listen to what each of them is saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no need to roll, because I mean, sure, it's kind of crowded, but it's not to the amount of people rushing to buy something, so it's not a kind of having to push through people in that sense. You take a moment and skirt around a few people, and what you see is, well, two people basically arm wrestling whilst trash talking each other.
William is enraptured.
Currently at the table is a surprisingly small woman, like about 3'8" or so, but from all you see, it's just, she's not a dwarf or halfling, it's a human woman, but she's short, basically. And on the other side sits a fairly muscular, like, imagine a guy who's lived in the gym the past 5 years. That kind of beefy dude. Looks to be about 6'2" or so. Strangely enough, this tiny woman seems to be holding her ground in the actual arm wrestling part, whilst also berating his looks, how he looks like a meathead, how he's nothing more than muscles, no brains. This seems to be one of those strange mixes of a rap battle and arm wrestling competition at the same time. It's strange.
Could William look an insight to see who's winning?
Absolutely. Roll an insight check. Uh, from the well, from the looks of it, this small woman is somehow managing to hold her own ground, and this guy is, I mean, he might be going easy. You're not entirely sure. But as it looks, it's leaning towards the big guy. And from the voices, now that everyone's getting close, you hear people are betting on who's going to win and taking sides in that manner.
All right. Could I be cheeky and try to distract the man?
Uh, Tell me how you're going to be cheeky to distract the man.
Well, what he does is he's going to look at him dead in the eye and go, "Hey, hey." He flies untied, undone.
He doesn't even break eye contact with the young lady and just snarls over at you. What's a fly?
I don't know. I think it's like a bug that you wear that crawls around like flies. I don't really know. Do you know what a fly is?
A what? And you see him kind of taking confused pauses in between him berating this tiny human woman, going on about how a sissy little girl, she's so weak, yada yada. They're really just trash talking each other at this point. You're not entirely sure if it's part of the game and or how it's part of the game. Yeah. And from the back of the group surrounding the table, you hear an old, kind of gnomish looking dude sound off. I've got 5 on the woman. And immediately you hear people like racing up to that bet that, yeah, hell yeah, we're on that bet or against the bet.
Edgar is poor and does not partake.
William sort of thinks for a moment and thinks about whether he should bet, and he like thinks about it for a good long while and says, and then just like shakes and goes, "Yeah, it's not really worth it." He just sort of steps back and watches till the end.
Could also say.
Yeah, I am interested to see how it turns out. And then is it really just an arm wrestling contest? I assume there's no prize for also having the best insults, but
From what it seems, like the main thing is the actual arm wrestling, but these two really are shit talking each other between it. So you're not sure if it's part of the game or if that's just something these two people do. Like from the air around you, most people seem to be ignoring the trash talking bit, kind of like, yeah, that's just normal for them, sort of deal. giving a quick tally, you figure out that the odds are in fact heavily in favor for the tiny woman. And just as another older gentleman approaches the table, raising his hand to shout out his own bet, the tiny woman just sighs and slaps down the big guy's arm onto the table. And
William claps in like a congratulatory like celebration.
she throws her arms up and kind of gives out a, imagine you see the face of a tiger about to roar, but it ends up just a weak meow. You know, she's trying to show off intimidation, but it's just cute instead. And she points at you, William, like, yeah, that's right.
That was a good show, that was.
And you see her now, like, look at all the people around. Probably just now realizing, like, how many people are here and the scene they're causing. And you see her kind of shrink down onto the chair and just, okay, I'm not here, god damn it, okay. And she even starts muttering those exact words, like, okay, we did it again, it's, god damn it.
Edgar can relate strongly.
And as this happens, most of the people, some reluctantly paying up their quote unquote gambling debt to each other, some being like, yeah, okay, we'll settle that over a beer next time, or whatever, This seems to be something that happens every now and then. People seem used to it, at least.
William like happily smiles and says, and then starts like, I imagine it starts like helping to like pack up the table, just out of force of habit.
Yeah.
He just starts helping clear everything away. Just no other reason than the spur of the moment.
Yeah, as you do, the man sitting on the other side of the table, still kind of crossing his arms after losing, kind of seizes you up for a moment, but then realizes, okay, he's cleaning up. I don't give a shit. Gives you a brief nod of, I wouldn't call it thanking you, but a nod of appreciation at least.
William like nods back and says, you did quite a good show as well.
Nah, same old. And now getting a moment to look closer, this big guy is indeed not human. He seems more pale-skinned in a gray shade. Not sure if William would know what a Goliath is, but for those who know what a Goliath is, this dude is one.
I don't know, maybe Goliath. I don't think he would know what he is, but I imagine he would have seen at least a few, considering that his town's like a holiday destination.
Yeah, he's probably read about them at least.
Maybe the barbarian that came was a Goliath. He doesn't know.
Could be. Or it was just a barbarian. To William, it's kind of iffy. So what's the difference?
Everyone's bigger than him.
Yeah, what's the difference between a Goliath and a barbarian kind of deal for William?
They're all big, strong people.
So after a couple of moments, William helping move the table away, the Goliath man standing up and moving the chair as well, and the tiny woman doing the same, just moving that towards the kind of small alleyway, and leaning the chairs slightly onto one of the walls, and you're being kind of told to put down the table there and there. They turn around to, well, the few of you who are left behind, because as soon as it ended, most people just scattered. Show over kind of deal.
After William sort of finishes, he sort of like does that thing where you like clap your hands together and sort of like as if like taking dust off. He
Yeah.
sort of goes, this so a regular thing then.
We a weekly thing, kind of. Sometimes not all every week, but she's stubborn, and things need to be settled, and this is how we settle it.
It's sometimes a good thing. My uncle Mac was stubborn, and he makes the best. He makes some of the best beer in the entirety of my hometown.
Huh. I don't see how that pertains to this, but that's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the help, little guy. I'm not paying you, but thanks.
Why do you expect me to get paid?
Everyone expects to be paid.
I'm a hero. I'm trying to be a knight. Knights just help people. That's if I expect to get paid for every single adventure, then I wouldn't be any adventures to go on.
A knight.
Yeah.
That's big dreams for a little kid. Keep dreaming big.
I will, thank you.
And he kind of looks back over to the three of you, Barros, Edgar, and Gurakuro, kind of like, so, whose kid is this?
I have
Kid?
I'm
Not mine.
21.
You're what?
21 years old.
No, you're not. Good job. Good for trying. And he kind of starts to clap his hands loudly, giving you nods as he does.
This is why your uncle said you should grow facial hair. Facial hair makes everyone know that you're old. No, I
Exactly.
can't grow facial hair.
Yeah.
Big
Why
dream.
is the guy with these big beard? No one takes a beardless dwarf seriously.
Do they exist?
I'm sure they.
Uh,
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen one.
I don't believe I have either. But
Male, female, they all do.
Yeah, strange enough. It's kind of strange. Like, really strange.
maybe for you, but you're not a dwarf.
I'm not? Wait, no, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right.
Isn't he? I thought he was a Goliath.
he's
Yeah,
too big
no,
to be.
he is indeed
I mean,
a
look at
Goliath.
him.
Okay.
He's too big to be a dwarf.
Like, is he not sure what he is? Wait, am I a dwarf?
Are you? You look like one.
Yes, I am.
Right. Times can be confusing. Yeah. So it's good to keep track. Good. Good. And you see him kind of literally seeing the slow cogwheels turning in his head as he turns around and walks out like back and forth for a while, talking to himself.
William just sort of steps back and like walks over to like Barry. Is it Barris?
Yes, I am.
He just like walks over to Barris and goes, I don't look that young, do I?
Yes, you do. And also, for a halfling, 21 is not that old anyway.
Hey!
I mean,
Old enough to
halfling,
go. I'm old enough
halfling,
to leave home.
maybe, but I mean, no one really respected me as an adult until I was 50. I think it's a whole human convention.
Could I have all of you roll me a perception check, please?
Certainly,
Perception?
sir.
I mean, 20 is like an adult for a human, but and like for others, you might be physically mature then, but relative to their actual lifespan, it's not that long. So
Hey. With an 18, Edgar, you see the literal moment that a child's hand reaches slowly for Barris's coin purse.
Whoa there, kid.
The hand quickly withdraws. Yeah?
Yeah, you better back up.
Wait. Like William like walks up to the kid and goes, "How are you able to pickpocket people without the zap zap?"
The what?
He like takes out the gem and goes, eh.
The kid quickly looks through all of you and just starts running off.
William chases after. It was just a question.
What was he shouting?
It was just a question.
So you're shouting that as you're chasing him, yeah?
Yes.
I'll let you choose and tell me why it's one or the other, persuasion or intimidation.
I think it would. Well, the thing is, William is only 3 foot. Is like under 3 foot tall. He has his voice is literally a high pitched squeal. He is not intimidating in the slightest. So it'll probably be persuasion.
Go ahead.
14.
Yep. The kid takes a look behind him, seeing only you running after. He actually stops for a bit, but he keeps close to the building, like trying to gauge your intentions of stopping him.
William is genuinely curious as to how he's able to do to pickpocket without being told no.
I,
There's no ulterior motive other than pure unbridled curiosity.
who are you?
William Underfoot, pleasure to meet you. Meet you. I don't actually know your name, but probably for the best that I don't. All things considered,
Yeah,
with you being a pickpocket, I just want to know why the flip your thing doesn't work.
I'll tell you for 5 silver. Yeah, 5 silver, and I'll tell you. It's a big secret. Hello?
William hands a whole gold piece to the person, to the boy, and says, "Yep, gold piece. Big secret. Big piece of gold."
He takes it and kind of slightly tries to bend it between his fingers and is like gives a nod as he pockets it, and he slowly leans forward, motioning you to get closer.
William, knowing that he's a pickpocket, is going to. I'm going to try and sort of lean, but in such a way that my pockets and backpack are as far away as possible.
Yeah. All you need to do is not have a crystal. And
Oh, that is a brilliant idea. That is a brilliant. Thank you.
and he
Never
rolls
thought
it,
of that.
and I rolled a nat 1 to him, kind of giving you a loose punch as he turns to run, but he turns the wrong way and just face into the wall next to him.
William
Ah!
immediately helps him up and starts like patting him down, like getting the dust off.
Eh, his nose is bleeding quite heavily. Face first into a hard wall.
I don't know if William, it's not really in his thing, but would William just have a rag on hand?
Probably.
William takes out a rag and starts like wiping the blood off his nose. It's okay, it's okay. You okay?
No! Oh, that hurts. Mom's gonna
Well,
kill me.
You did just walk into a wall.
Ow, ow. He takes the rag and just presses it against his nose as he, kind of in a daze, turns around and now starts heading off the right way. Not running, but taking fairly quick and determined steps to just get away from you guys.
Before I leave, can I try to like? I'm not going to steal any gold from him. Can I try and like take anything that would lead me to try and to help finding him again?
Roll sleight of hand, I suppose, with advantage because the kid is dazed.
Ooh.
Ooh. Roll one more. It's advantage. Could have been a nat 20. Almost was.
Could have been a nat 20.
You easily enough like reach your hand out and take a slight grasp on the what's it called? Not really a scarf, but like a small rag he has hanging around his neck. It unties, and you now have a tattered, worn, dirty, well, face mask, kind of. Well, you imagine it's used to cover his lower part of the face. That kind of rag. It's also kind of bloody with his blood.
Yeah, William, as the guy's like going off after getting that thing, he sort of like waves the pocket off. All right.
He doesn't turn around, he just keeps walking.
William does a quick check on his pocket just to see whether he's been pickpocketed in that mess.
Everything seems to be in order.
He happily strides back to the group. Turns out you don't need. Turns out the best way not to get zapped is to not have this on.
Really? Wow, that is quite the revelation.
I know, isn't it?
Thank you for solving this mystery, William.
You're welcome.
William just totally does not get the sarcasm.
Oh God.
Yes, he does not understand the sarcasm.
Not at all, ever.
He could he look at the rag and see if there's any sort of markings on it or like thieves' cant?
Sure, absolutely. there's nothing you can tell having some sort of message apart from there being the initials V, like a normal single V, and an H. So V dot H dot.
So it's a bandana that has V.age on it.
Yes.
And it turns out even despite the crystals and the all the police around, there's a surprising amount of crime in the city. What's the
It's
world come?
almost as if these things are totally useless.
That is odd.
And there we're back to the discussion about the system not working.
They only hurt the common folk. They do nothing for the crimes.
William puts the bandana into his like coat pocket, and
Bandana, that's the name. Thank you.
does V.age ring a bell from anything that his Uncle Mac would have told him?
No. Not really.
It's fair. He looks over to. I think he'll just ask the. I think he'll just like straight up ask his. Do you know? Do you know what V.age stands for?
V.A.
Yeah, it's like the letter V, and then there's this X, then there's a full stop, and then the word age written next to it.
I don't believe so. Would we?
Can we make a history check or something?
I mean, whichever check you'd like, if you can convince me why it's that check, go for it. So if you feel history, because why?
I'm thinking if it's some kind of criminal organization, they might have a record or like they might have a reputation around the city.
Makes sense. Roll for it. I mean, having a fair bit of interest in how crime works, especially with how it's being controlled. Gurakura has no recollection of any criminal organization or anything like that with the letters V.H connected to it.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
The thing is, I could take that. We are heading to like the tower. I could ask there, but I don't want to get the kid in trouble.
Well, we have no idea who that child is or where they come from.
To be honest, he says like taking the bandana out a bit. I think I might have if this is important.
Well, what is it then? Is it some kind of code?
It's a bandana. It's a piece of cloth you wear around your face.
Yeah, but the letters are the letters some kind of message?
I mean, my theory is it could stand for variable.
I mean, it's not unusual for people to have, like monogrammed handkerchiefs, neckerchiefs. If they kid's a pickpocket, it could just be initials from somebody he stole from.
That is a fair point. This could just be. Yeah, but the thing is, why would you make a bandana out of a piece of fabric that you stole?
He's a kid. Maybe he doesn't care about the actual name. To him, it's just a cloth.
Virgil. Could it be Virgil? Could this be Virgil? Did Virgil lose a handkerchief recently?
I doubt it.
I don't actually. I have no idea what's going on and why. What? No, let's just go take this. Let's just get to bottom of this drinking business now that I have this bandana.
So I assume you guys continue then?
Yeah, I guess.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Just as before, the roads are still fairly crowded. People going about their days, selling things, buying things, life in a city. Takes you about an hour or so to get to the southern gatehouse. The southern
Okay.
gatehouse out of the four is the smaller one of all of them. It does house a bit larger of a like a joint storage unit to it than the other gatehouses. But other than that, the actual gatehouse is small. Most of you probably entered town either from the western or eastern gatehouse.
Didn't think the town was this
So
big.
most of us entered via the western or eastern gatehouse. Is that what you said?
Yeah, most of you entered the town either through the west or east gatehouse. The southern gatehouse seems much smaller, and probably for a reason.
Because it's well traveled, or
Probably, considering the deep forest is down south and covering most of the lands south of the town. Yeah,
and not many people live there, I'd wager.
yeah,
Not many
probably
people
not.
go to the forest, and because we're on an island, not many people would probably attack via the forest either. Um, I imagine. Are we going? Are we going into the guardhouse, or are we going to like? Oh, could I look around the guardhouse to first of all see if there's any? I'm gonna go. Could I check for any thieves' cant? Just out of hat at this point.
Absolutely. Give me an investigation check for that. 15. Um, you do find one kind of it to like someone who doesn't know anything about it. It looks like just some kid having scrawled on one of the walls, but to you, it does read out Southern Gatehouse in Thieves' Cant, basically.
William just stands and goes, "Yes, we all know." Like under his breath, "Yes, we can see that. They supposed to give me other information."
The interesting point about it, however, is that this is scrawled on a wall of just a random building, like next to the road, as opposed to the actual gatehouse.
Oh, I'll sort of walk back to the people and go, "Apparently, that is the Southern Gatehouse."
What, like that actual building?
Well, no, but I think the local gangs use that as a gatehouse to, I think maybe smuggle goods in.
Oh,
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
Bearing in mind, this might be just a theory. I am. I will point out that I do have a below average intelligence, as people always tell me.
All right, if you say so.
Could I try and like peek? Could I try and like sneak up and sort of peek through the windows of this sort of like house that has like the guardhouse thieves' cant on it?
All the windows are fairly high up, like even for a normal sized human being, you'd actually have to get up on something to peer inside. If it wasn't for the fact that all the shutters are also closed.
Yeah, this is definitely a thief's house. This is definitely when there's scrolling on the walls and all of the windows are shut. And he looks up at the sky. In the middle of the day, it's probably some sort of den. You want to check it out?
Just walk into a bunch of into a thieves' den without a care in the world? No, thank you.
Yes,
That's a good way to
exactly
get
what I
yourself
was saying.
killed.
It's also a good way to get to the bottom of why the booze is disappearing.
As a member of the order, I don't think it's a good idea for me to be there.
You don't think it's a good idea?
Well, I don't think that they are so keen on inviting us in.
I didn't say we were going to go in. I said we're going to. It's a flippin' thieves' den. I'm not gonna. It could, well, actually, it could be a thieves' den, or it could just be an old lady's house. That I don't know.
Who here reads and speaks Elvish? Or Elven?
Not me.
Yeah,
I do.
So, taking a quick look, there is in fact a small, like, hanging sign above the entry door which reads The Honey House.
Well, actually, there is a sign on top of the door, or on top of the building there by the door. It says the honey.
Oh yeah, that must be the front.
Well, I guess we could go and buy some honey then.
Honey's good. Honey's good.
It's good for preserving food as well.
Where William walks in, sort of opens the door and says, does this vocational place sell honey?"
So, you've got that idea in your head. You try the door, it doesn't open.
Figured it wouldn't be that easy. I couldn't. No, I'm not going to knock. I'm not going to knock. Let's. He just like walks down the stairs. Well, step. There's almost always a step. Steps
Yeah,
in buildings.
it's 2 steps up actually.
Yeah.
So you could call it stairs, technically.
Especially for a little halfling.
I'm like 50% positive that this is where where they're probably storing any like alcohol that gets like processed or bootleg. They're probably selling bootleg or taking wine from the guardhouse and or something. There's some deal or some such. I don't know.
And by now, standing this close to the guard, actually gatehouse, just standing in front, trying the door of the honey house, one single guard does appear to give notice to you guys and starts heading over towards you.
William just gives an Bungles. I knew I should have. This was a horrible idea. I shouldn't have done this.
What are you doing?
Um, uh, trying the door on this. I thought this was a honey shop.
Uh, yeah, bit early for something like that, don't you think, kid? Bit young, yeah?
And what's wrong with sweetened bee juice?
Right, kid. Right.
It's a brothel.
Yeah, I thought it'd be better if you figured that out on your own.
Congratulations, kid! And he starts clapping his hands. Like one hand was down by his sword as he's approached, but now he's just, yeah. You figured that out yourself, kid. Bit early for you and bit early in the fucking day.
I'm not really interested in that sort of thing. And just sort of crawls his way down. I'm not a kid. I'm 21 years old. Old
Right.
enough to leave home.
Right. And he gives like the rest of you a quick glance, kind of like tourists, yeah.
How is a
Fucking
place like that even in business? Wouldn't like all of its patrons and workers constantly be getting shocked? Or is it not illegal?
well, what do you mean?
I
What?
think we got
Well,
So are the business illegal or no? Or
well, what a person does with their body, yeah. I Why would that be illegal, man?
I don't know. I don't always
insight check.
understand. I don't
Insight
always
check.
understand the church's thinking.
You and me both, man.
Could I see how legal this is? If it is actually legal, as if he's trying to like scoot around the issue.
Sure. Roll insight.
Actually, have good insight.
15.
15.
Yeah, he seems fairly honest with you. Like, why would that be illegal? He seems to genuinely be thinking that. But yeah, if you need anything from them, I'd probably say come back in the night. You know, when they're open.
Well, I
And
don't
you,
think we need anything from them. Thank you for taking it easy on the little kid.
do you know how many kids I see each day walking up that freaking step and knock on the door and get thrown
Halfling,
out
I'm
on the street?
21. I'm a halfling. I'm 21 years old. I know I look young.
Yeah,
I get it.
congratulations.
Do you know how many people have called me kid today?
Too.
Got you kicked?
Called me kid.
Oh, at least two?
You know what?
You
Yes.
are correct.
I'm a genius. What can I
To
say?
be honest, you're smarter than me. I couldn't work out this place was a brothel.
You did a bit late on it, but you know you did. Anyways, if you're not, yeah, whatever, fuck it. And he turns back and heads back to the gatehouse.
Listen, good sir. While we're talking,
Oh yeah.
we've been hearing that alcohol has been having issues getting into the town. Do do you guards know anything about that?
Alcohol, like beer, wine, mead,
Yeah,
rum. So,
I'm
Yeah,
staying at the halfway home, and
that's what alcohol is. Yes, it's booze.
the innkeep has been inquiring that he can't get any alcohol for the inn.
uh, for that kind of business, you'd probably better off checking with. One moment. And he kind of starts walking back towards the gatehouse and heads into a small door on it. Like he's still out on the street, basically, mostly leaning in, probably talking to someone or reading something. comes back out again after about 20 seconds. Yeah, about that. Most stuff going through here is, well, forage, animals, farm goods. The occasion couple of bottles of farm brew stuff, but nothing major like, imports.
Yeah, most of that probably comes through the main gate.
Oh,
Right?
But you say we're completely
Yeah.
the wrong area for we're completely in the wrong area for finding out about
oh,
alcohol
I,
problems.
I merely just thought if you know any rumors.
Well, have you heard any rumors about what's happened? That's a good point. That's a good point.
Rumors about alcohol.
Not getting into the town?
I mean, if you asked about magical goods, I mean, yeah, that shit doesn't get through easy.
Well,
Don't
obviously.
see, yeah, right. But alcohol, unless it's like something between the either, the order, the merchants, or like the nobles, could be something going on between those.
Yeah, that could be it.
Maybe some
Any
feud.
other
Someone.
things is there anything, if you had any like strange things going on about the forest recently? 'Cause we're actually heading into the forest actually. There's going to be a group of us coming by quite soon just to sort of go through this. Anything you've heard about the forest from like hunters and stuff?
I mean, less wild game than usual, I've heard.
Yeah, we were told to go out and investigate. Well, the word they used, I believe, was like corruption.
No, nothing I know anything about.
Could I try and see if there's any sort of sort of like I don't know. William's sort of like trying to see trying to gauge if he's actually seeing something or if he's hiding anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll another insight in that case.
Because there has to be something. There has to be something. Like
Uh,
no game, no
no,
no
no,
weird stuff happening.
it, it's not that there's no game, but like rabbits, foxes, to a degree wolves, not as many,
Been any talks of he seems to like look and go, but bears have there.
Uh, I mean, probably. And to what you can tell, he's being as honest as he can.
William sort of looks down and goes, oh, okay. Oh no, okay. Okay, thank you. I sort of like
The worst kid.
I don't like bears or owls.
Okay, that's understandable.
Why don't you like
There's
owls?
What about
Have you
owlbears?
seen an owl? I think you're missing the point. I am 2 foot tall, and halflings are very small creatures, and they're. Have you seen a halfling child? They're about the size of a flipping bean. You leave a child out in the middle of the night. You leave a child out for a second, and owl just picks them up and eats them. It's terrifying.
Oh yeah, I suppose. I
see
can see that.
this guard just stood there looking at you, taking in every word you're saying, and he's probably mentally noting it to tell a joke to someone later.
My, I knew like my third cousin, my third cousin's like kid got killed by an owl.
My
I was an
condolences.
adventurer once, but then I
He
took
was a
an
jerk.
arrow to the knee.
He was an absolute jerk. Nobody liked him. But
The guard kind of slowly rolls his eyes and looks back over at you, Edgar, and he's like, "So, rumors about alcohol, yeah?
If there is any.
Not really. I heard something about some really good booze over at the East Gate, like a month ago. Like some kind of new type of blending. Fuck was it? Beer and wine? I don't know. It sounds really strange, but apparently it's new craze.
William's eyes perk up at that.
Okay, maybe
And
we
just so you
have
know,
to
I'm
inquire at
definitely
the East
putting that
Gate.
in my notes. I'm putting that in my notes.
Sure.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem. Good luck with whatever the fuck you guys are doing.
To be honest with you, I have no clue what we're doing.
I figured. And he heads back to his post.
So that was a new brew at the Eastgate, right?
Yeah. And according to the rumors this guy knows, it's something about mixing beer and wine.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, yeah, you just stir the together, man. If you actually do things with them together, that could be good.
Imagine if you mix like the grape juice and the hops together before fermentation, it could create something.
That is true.
I mean, my brew is a combination. My brew is usually a combination of fruits, of various fruits, all mashed together and fermented. Anyway, and what should we do now? Because we can't exactly. I don't really think it's very fair to go without the people, and they're still, and we're still sort of. Should we wait for them to arrive, or what are we going to do?
Well, it feels like we didn't get any more concrete rumors about where this alcohol would turn out, or if someone is stealing it or not.
Well, he said it probably wouldn't come through this gate because it doesn't travel.
We could check at the other gate, but by the time we get back, it'll be super late, and we need to. I assumed we were gonna go like sharpish.
That is true.
Well, the other part of the group sure wasn't in a hurry.
They were having tea. I assume they're off for doing their own thing now. Probably, I don't know, carouse. I don't know what people do when they're in do all do.
Shop window browsing?
We don't have that much money. We spent it all. We spent it all. We spent it all on baths and meat yesterday.
Maybe we could walk to the eastern gate and ask. And if they get here before us, they just have to wait like we did.
I think we could probably stay until we could probably get there. It'd probably be very late before we arrived when we got back, but we could check out the West Gate.
East. Right.
East Gate, West Gate, they're both gates.
Just as you say that, you hear the door from the honey house creak open and a finely dressed man exiting.
I don't. William looks to the finely dressed man. He looks and goes, "Oh, hello."
You see this man dressed in really fine fabrics and, you know, having put proper time into his presentation, raises an eyebrow and is like, yes.
You just came out of a brothel.
Well, yeah. Is that a problem for you?
No, I just find it like usually people of a noble persuasion are a little bit more pious. What's the term? I don't know the terms. Weird.
Are you calling me weird?
Look, I come from the country. Everything here is weird.
That's lovely. Can I help you? Uh,
Oh,
I
we're trying to
assume you
work
are.
out we're trying to work out what's been happening to the local beer, because apparently there's an alcohol shortage currently.
Oh, that's lovely. Ta-ta. You have a good day then.
Could I insight check this man? Because he seems a bit smug.
Absolutely. William trusts no one this episode. Should name it that. William
This
trusts no one.
episode, William trusts no one.
Uh, wait, why'd you roll twice?
I think it's because I don't know. I think it might be
Strange.
because whenever I roll a one or something, maybe if whenever I roll a one or something, it might roll again. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on.
it's okay. So, yeah, I mean, he seems fairly arrogant. Kind of like the man, sort of like the kind of man who has better places to be than talking to you. It's kind of the air he gives off.
Any other rogue at this point would have picked his pocket, but William just sort of looks on and goes, "That man's a jerk," and then right, Westgate.
I can still hear you, you know. Ta-ta.
He looks back and goes, "Good. Jerks should hear them being assaulted, and they should take it to the chin."
At least,
He sticks out his tongue.
at least some of us dress properly.
I have you know this is the best. This is a brilliant coat. It's been in my family for generations.
I can see that. That's lovely.
Thank you. You're very kind.
He flicks a single copper coin towards you, kind of like, get yourself something nice.
He takes the copper coin indignantly.
And the man turns around and starts walking down the main road.
William looks back to like Barris and Gurko Crow and Edgar. And sort of like points that back at him and goes, "What is with these? What are with the nobles in this city?"
That's just how nobles are. They're all high and mighty because they were born with silver spoons in their mouth. Better
They've
than the
got
rest of
no
them.
sense. He's got no sense of shame. He acts like I'm beneath him when most certainly I'm not.
Yes, you just described a
Actually,
noble.
I am. Actually, if when I think about it, I am literally. I am 3 foot tall. I'm literally beneath him.
That doesn't give them the right to act like they own us.
But that's how nobles act.
It's not going to be it's probably not going to be a problem. Let's just go.
The only way to get nobles to respect you is if you can earn even more money to be even more rich than they are.
I am planning on opening my own tavern at some point. Like
You have many plans.
yeah, traveling. If I have it's actually one big plan actually. My main, if I make a traveling tavern, like a tavern that can move between places, that way I can fund my adventuring with the profits I make from the tavern, and that way I don't need to charge people to help them anymore.
Well, now how are you going to do your adventuring and work at the bar at the same time?
What part of it's a traveling tavern don't you understand? I can move and I can do adventuring on the side. And eventually, obviously, I'm going to hire people to work for me, and then the tavern basically pays for itself.
Yeah, I could see that working.
Well, if you want, you could help out. I I I need.
I think
We,
you have a long way to go before you can afford to hire help.
well, duh. I'm not stupid. I know I need a lot of gold to even start. First of all, first thing I need is a is a is a is a good enough is to be able to. I just need to sell enough booze that I can flipping afford to make another to afford to buy a cart or some other thing that to and then I fill the cart with more stuff. I know I've got a long way to go, but I will get there. I've got a bucket list.
To be a knight is one of them, right?
I'll show you. William sort of like fiddles around in his pockets and gets out like a small like scratched up, slightly beaten up piece of parchment, and written on it is a number of like bullet pointed things, and he sort of like looks down and goes,
To save a maiden in need.
"Save a damsel? I have no idea. Save a damsel, whatever a damsel is. I'm not really certain what I think it has something to do with sort of dropping water.
A fruit?
Could be a fruit. Could be a fruit. I'm not. Damsel does sound like fruit.
You
Meet
want
new
to be a
friends.
knight? You don't even know what a
I've
damsel
like he
is?
looks. He like goes over. Meet new friends. That's already been achieved. Uh, slay a dragon or befriend a dragon. Either or would be swell. I like a interacting with a dragon in any way would be amazing. I think. And then there's this one. This like barbarian came to town a few years ago. Talked about all of his adventures, and someone asked him what is best in life. The first two things he said didn't sound very good, but the other thing I thought sounded about right. Hear the lamentation of the wereman. Do you know what a wereman is? I know that lamentation has something to do with lemons. I'm certain that's what he meant. I just
You you
I
have so
just need
much
to
to learn.
understand what a wereman is. Um, but of course, make the best tavern in the world and become a knight is at the bottom of it. And I that's like the big goal of my life.
And
You,
it's
you
it's
have so
about that.
much to learn.
It's about this time that the party members who are here, realize that when William talked about being below normal intelligence, he really wasn't joking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we. Some of us couldn't tell. Not Edgar, though. He's about as smart.
But just so you know, my intelligence is a 9, so it is like just below.
Yeah, Edgar's is 10.
I mean, what even is a lamentation? Is it like a way to ferment lemons? Oh, that could be interesting. That could be an interesting brew, actually.
Why don't you go and check out some of the libraries and read about it?
Grieves me so much that I don't know
Read?
what
Why would
lamentations
I've been to the libraries. Most of those books don't really excite me. They don't have pictures or things about dragons or knights.
I'm pretty sure there are either stories or information about both dragons and the knights if you go to a library.
I mean, we can go to the library if you want. I won't say no to it.
Though it was more if you want to know what lamentation is. I have no idea. Maybe they can help you find information that you need.
Are you sure? I mean, if we could we can do it now. I mean, we've got time, but I thought we were going to the Westgate to investigate this alcohol theft. Not
Yes, no.
theft, shortage.
Yeah.
Sorry, got my words minced.
No, we're going to the East Gate to check it out. I was just saying that later, at a later time, when you have time, you can go. There are libraries in the city you can use.
Oh, I do like libraries. I read lots of books back in my day.
Well, that sounds perfect then. Shall we head off?
Tally ho, as they say.
And with that, we're gonna take a short break. Let's say 10 minutes or so, so 5 past half.
I love how the break for this game is William just going,
Okay, so you guys are now instead heading towards the eastern gate then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Eastern Gate.
From where you are right now, you imagine travel would be about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more.
We've got time to waste anyways.
We've got
Okay.
time.
Sure thing.
Hopefully, like if I assume that we'll probably arrive back at the like with sort of like working out how I'm sort of like slowly in my head, slowly because William is stupid, working out trying to like get the right times in so we can like probably still make it back in time.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, it's pretty much lunch now. Because it was just before lunch when you left the halfway home, traveled for about an hour down here, so it's lunch. So walking now, the streets are a bit less crowded because most people are grabbing lunch. Um, could I have, yeah, I'll ask for it. Perception check from everybody as you're traveling through the town.
Yep. So,
Yes.
Ooh.
Making our way downtown.
Stop it.
Make it work. Oh, wow, yeah. Barris and William, the two of you fairly quickly pick up on sort of that sixth sense of I'm being watched as you're traveling through the less crowded main street.
we're being watched, or someone's actually following us.
William have a look around to see if he like sees anything.
Yeah, it's as you go off of that kind of sixth sense of feeling watched and look around, you notice a group, like they're not a group physically, but spending just a moment to look at who's looking where and them just meeting gazes, it's easy to tell that this is a group of three people actively following you, um, like doing their best not to stick out. Kind of one goes ahead, waits a little bit, just making sure that someone's always got eyes on you.
Do they look like anything, any sort of like, do they have any sort of like tags that would make them like stand out as a gang?
I wouldn't say they really have anything that makes them look like they're gang members of any sort, but these three individuals, like what they're wearing is, not in any way, shape, or form fine clothing or anything. It's they're wearing what they have, pretty much. But they don't seem to be individuals of some sort of alignment to your, you know, knowledge or idea.
Could William just sort of like Williams is sort of just going to sigh and look them dead in the eyes to say, "I know you're there. You either show yourselves or leave us alone, please."
Okay.
But like looking, just looking them dead in the eye, and sort of like looking one of them dead in the eye.
Okay, give me an intimidation check for that.
Oopsie.
Okay.
Like I said, William is not an intimidating person.
Not very much so, no. As you meet the gaze with one of them, he kind of looks back at you instead, sort of like a "the fuck do you want" sort of look in his eyes, and that was almost on that 20. He tried to intimidate you, but he too kind of gave you that sort of nervous. What the fuck are you looking at?
Like this.
He didn't say it. He didn't say it, but you could see physically that voice crack in his eyes.
But you know when two people are trying to like intimidate each other but are not good at intimidation? It's
Yeah,
the sort of like it's that. It's
yeah.
like two people two people looking just them just trying to make the other one crack and not succeeding in any way.
Stumbling over the words, voice cracks, all of it,
Yeah,
except
but
without
it
voice. Yeah.
except without talking.
So you're kind of at that sort of standstill with at least one individual. What's the rest
He's
of you guys
waiting
doing?
for he's waiting for like one of them to like for at least someone to speak up. Because he's not going to make he wants them to make the first move.
So to Edgar and Gurakuro, basically William stopped and he's now staring at the dude.
Yeah, Edgar is
Yeah,
observing what's happening.
yeah. What exactly is going on here?
It's just that Weird Al thing of he looks at me and you look at and you look at him and he looks at me and you look at him and he looks at me. That meme.
That's pretty much it, yeah. As they notice you not continuing forwards, the guy you're staring down or having a quote unquote stare down competition with, he gives a nod towards the two other individuals who go into alleyways before he himself just dodges around the corner and heads into an alleyway himself.
William just sort of gives like a satisfied nod and walks on, not really wanting to get into this situation right now.
Yeah, I don't want any trouble, but I'm not gonna go out looking. I'm not gonna be the one to start it. Maybe we should get somewhere indoors.
We gotta get it. It's fine if they're gonna follow. If they're gonna follow us, they'll just let them follow us. We got nothing to hide. Except, except maybe a necklace that's like an all-powerful artifact necklace, but no one really cares about that,
Didn't you guys
and we
give that
don't have
away
it.
to what's his name?
What?
Didn't you guys give that to whoever?
They're down an alleyway now, and they're down an alleyway now, and we're in the middle of a crowded area. They're not going to hear me talking like this.
That's true.
Shall we move on?
Yes, but
But yes,
I
we
guess
did
so.
give it away.
Ah, okay. Then that's dealt with then. Good.
Barris, does a 21 hit you?
yes, it will.
Edgar, does a 22 hit you?
Most certainly.
Gurakuro, 10.
No.
William, 16. Yes or no?
16 hits.
Okay. So the three of you feel the three of you apart from Gurakuro then feel a prick in your neck. Give me
Oh
a
god.
constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
And if it's poison, I have advantage too.
It is indeed.
I rolled an 8.
Okay, so Edgar, you feel the prick, and you take 2 points of piercing damage, as a small dart is now stuck hanging from your neck. It's
Oh,
it's about like roughly the size of a D4 actually. Um, but you, that's it for you. Bears, you as well. You take 2 points of piercing damage, having a small little dart stuck in your neck now, just dangling there. William, however, you take 2 points of piercing damage, as well as you fall unconscious.
William just looks at the like he notices the dog and goes, "Oh, oh,
And
how much
Gurakuro,
damage was that? Was it like
2 points piercing. And
Oh, so he
Gurakuro,
hits me.
yours, yeah, it hits you, but it kind of gets stuck in your clothing and doesn't find purchase on your skin. So all of a sudden, darts come flying, and William just sploof face first into the mud.
I think we should run.
should we pick him up?
I'll take care of it. And I cast adjust density on William so he becomes lighter, and I pick him up.
Wines, how much does William weigh?
currently with all of his stuff on? He would weigh 102.36 pounds. With his normal weight is 56 pounds.
Okay, so 100 something halved, that's 51-ish then.
Is that possible to carry?
For you, you don't have that right now, so yes. You would probably be able to carry him.
Okay, I got him. So let's go.
Double dash.
Okay. So, like, you notice the views, like how people look at you strangely. No one's going up to question it, but you're all being observed. Because, well, you're carrying. How are you carrying him? On the back or just carrying in front?
I guess I put him over my shoulder would be the easiest way to
Fireman's
carry him.
carry.
Cradle him like a baby. And
Or yeah, I guess he's not so big, so I could cradle him. Yeah.
So, yeah, people are staring as the 3 of you are running down the street.
Do I know if there is a church nearby or like a temple to our order?
The closest thing to here would be, I mean, you haven't personally been to it, but you do know that there is one of those insanely small ones, sort of like a just private people gathering to revere a god. If you recall correctly, these certain individuals revere the fire god. But yes, there is a really, really small. It's basically like having remade the entrance of a home into a small little chapel-ish area.
Okay, so it's not like big enough to fit all of us.
You could fit, yeah, but like it's not a quote unquote official place of worship. But there is a place at least.
No, because I was thinking more of a place where we could take shelter. But yeah, maybe that's not possible then.
Well, like anywhere indoors, that.
Yeah, you could try.
As I'm running, I'm asking Barris and Edgar, is there any way we could go where it's safe? Do you know any place we can hide?
Oh, we can maybe go back to the what's the park? The halfway house. That's close.
It's about 50 minutes from where you are.
That's way too far.
Oh, that's not close.
I would suggest we just go into the nearest cafe.
Yep.
You're sleeping.
Exactly. That's why I said I would suggest going to the nearest cafe, but I am currently unconscious, being held like a wee babe in Gurkokra's arms.
So would I know of any inns in the area?
Yeah, it
Uh,
would be.
I mean, there's inns scattered all over the place. Any that the two of you would have like prior knowledge of? Not really.
Okay. So I guess we just run and find one.
Okay. So you keep running then.
I
Yeah.
love how all we're doing is trying to work out where the booze is going, and now we're being attacked by a gang.
Hey, if you continue to run, after just a short moment, William, you wake up being cradled by Gurakuro, who's running.
What's going on? Oh no!
They attacked us. You fell asleep. Are you okay?
I didn't fall asleep. I was flipping drugged, mate.
Yeah, they had some sort of poison dart. I felt one.
It
They had
really
sleepy
hurt.
darts.
Do any of you see them? Are they still following us?
Give me a perception check.
Could William
All of us
peek over
are.
the shoulder and do a
If
perception check as well?
if you're looking, give me one, but do it with disadvantage since you're all presumably still trying to get away.
Should
Yes.
all of us roll?
Yeah, anyone who wants to do it.
So it's perception with disadvantage.
Yes, indeed.
Mine were 4 and 12.
As to which I need one more from you, Gurakuro and William. Is it holding shift that makes it roll with?
Or you can also right click the number.
Oh,
Ah, right. I forgot about that.
okay. So for Gurakuro it's a 15, and for William it's a 14. Like, keep in mind, Gurakuro, you're cradling William as you're looking around, trying to focus on not falling over as well. Like, you're fairly sure that's during your peaks behind, and so same goes for you, William. You're not being followed.
Okay.
People are staring though.
William's going to just sort of try and get out and sort of get down on the ground, like sort of like I don't know if Gil Croker if you're going to try and stop him from like dropping to the ground or anything.
No, I will put you down, but just be careful. You might feel a bit lightheaded since you're currently.
This isn't the first. Used to. This is. This is just standard issue for bandits or not bandits. I don't know. I don't know why they drugged us. Anyway, I'm going to. I think it's best. I think I have an idea. Let's slow down and try to act a bit more normal, maybe because people are staring.
Oh yeah, I just realized also that my spell only lasts for 1 minute. So if we run more than 1 minute, it's just
Yeah.
gonna be a trouble.
I mean, William pretty much wakes up at the end of 1 minute. So at the moment he wakes up, like seconds after, as you're putting him down, you feel
Plop.
how heavy he gets. Like,
I think seeing as it's lunchtime and we've been attacked, maybe, and we've been jammed with needles. I think it's best we just go to a nearby cafe and have something to eat. Like let's take a break and observe the things. So you guys go to a cafe. I will follow you. Just know that I will be following you. And as he just like leans in, and I'm trying to like stealth into the crowd, which is the hat trick of a halfling, of the halfling abilities that I have.
sure, give me stealth. 16. Yeah, you're fairly sure you're kind of blending in with what crowd there is, because it's not as crowded right now as it was an hour ago. But yeah, feels good, feels safe.
Just to recap, when you see William just sort of like mesh into the sea of people, and I don't know if he disappeared. Would he have disappeared to you?
Uh, it depends on their passive, I suppose.
Well, how exactly does passive perception work? So if his roll is higher than my passive perception, then I cannot see him. Is that so simple?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, then I can't see him.
Okay.
Me neither.
So yeah, all you saw was William go into what little crowd there is, and he's gone.
I just want to also point out that he did say go to a cafe. I'll meet you there.
He did, yep. So I guess we just keep on going.
Yeah, can you see any cafe around here? Does it seem like that kind of place?
William, just so the DM knows, William is going to follow closely behind, but still like stealthed.
Absolutely.
And this is the sort of stealth where he's sort of ducking between. He's sort of like acting, like, sort of like moving in between people while also being like, you know how it's hard to explain, but it's sort of like it's the stealth of moving through like a crowded area. When you're moving through a crowded room, you can sort of it's hiding in a crowd. It's not so much like crouching down and sort of hiding in shadows. This is like being so inconspicuous that you can like blend in.
Yeah. Just one among the crowd.
Yes.
Absolutely. But yeah, finding a small cafe-looking thing is absolutely doable. The one you find immediately seems kind of on the nicer side. Like, it's kind of surprising because you're fairly close to the leatherworking industry side of things. But this place looks nice. On the outside of the establishment, it has a small windows, like not extravagant in any way, shape, or form, but they are like embellished with what's it called? Sort of a stained glass, you know,
Yeah,
of
your typical sort of like ye olde cafe,
kind of, and the
Ren Fair cafe.
the figuring or whatever on the actual stained glass seems to be of tiny dragons.
William, I think that once you found the cafe, William emerges from the crowd. It's like, so
Wait one moment.
no reaction. There's no reaction. As like, tell you what, William is going to sneak up behind Barris and like whisper in his ear. So,
What, William?
good cafe, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
Looks nice.
It's a nice looking place.
Do you think? I could see what. Shall we head in?
That is amazing. How do you disappear like that?
It's simply a case of just moving with everyone while also weaving your way. It's basically the art of looking like you belong when you don't.
That's an interesting spell. I need to try that later.
It's not a spell. I just do it.
Still, it's interesting.
Thank you. Shall we? He like bows and like waits for everyone. Like bows and like, shall we head in? I don't want to be here when I don't want to be hit with another flipping needle outside of a cafe.
Yes, good idea.
Yes.
Yep. As you're heading in, you see a small but fairly well-made sign on the door reading "The Little Dragon's Den." And as you entered it, the place is small, nothing huge, about 8 tables or so, each table seating 4 people. There's a small wooden hand-carved countertop with small, what's it called? Like,
Figurines?
no, like where you'd put the bread to show it off, kind of things.
Baskets?
No.
Like a display case.
So yeah, sort of like a display
Oh.
case. That's sort of like that.
Is it on an ornate sort of like? I think it's called a toast rack or a bread rack.
Sounds right, yeah.
Is it like ornately designed? Is it like a? Does it look like? Does each of the racks look like dragon's claws?
Now that you say it and look for it, like how the whole countertop is made along with these display cases, it sort of looks to your imagination what a dragon laying down would look like.
This is amazing. William runs up to the counter like a little kid, like a child, and says, what's the menu?" Like he looks. Does it have like a? Is there like a menu or something? Is he like sort of jumping up and down?
Uh, there is indeed a small stack of menus. They're made of paper, somewhat bound with a decent leather. So they're kind of proper menus, but they also seem handmade.
William like snatches one and starts like flipping through it, looking for anything that looks particularly tasty.
Okay.
And
What?
being a halfling, he understands taste.
So what sort of tasty thing is he looking for?
Well, being a halfling, it would probably be something like baked. Obviously, like some pastry, some kind of pastry would be his go-to. Um, Something savory or sweet. He's quite I imagine William's quite a connoisseur of the like sweet pie.
Yeah. There's a wide variety of different sorts of pastries. There's stuff like different berry tasting muffins. There's different berry. Most of the pastries do have that sort of berry main ingredient. Tarts, paste, muffins, shortcakes. You know, most sort of popular pastries.
Is there any shoe pastry?
I would say
Ooh,
yes.
donuts. Do they sell donuts?
No donuts, no.
Ah, like William like flips around, like flips around like donuts, and goes, ah.
To give a bit more clarification, there's most of the pastries have that sort of like light to eat sort of vibe to them. So a donut being a bit more heavy and a bit denser, no.
I think he's is the like so there's like a is there like a cream filled like shoe pastry or something?
Yeah,
And
there's
I think he'd get like he'd sort of go. I'll have the sort of cherry eclair, please.
and who are you saying that to? Because now that you like uh, William really enamored by just a menu, I gotta check. Takes a moment and realizes, wait, where's the staff? There's no staff.
Why is it open if there's no one here?
At one of the tables, you see a dwarf, a female dwarf with a beard, a glorious one, probably rivaling Barris's, sat having a cup of. From the smell, you're not entirely sure if it's sort of like a coffee bean mix or tea leaf mix, but it's somewhere in between tea and coffee from the smell. Something strange.
Could William make an insight check just to determine if he might have accidentally walked into a trap?
Absolutely. No, place seems
William
absolutely
has
100%
no
amazing.
flipping clue. He's like, is there like a bell?
There is indeed a small, not like the bell you press to ring, but the one you actually physically have to lift to ring.
Uh, that's not really a service bell to like get the person to.
It could be.
He sort of thinks about it and thinks, I don't really want to ring like the big bell. This seems like a very nice place. He doesn't want to annoy the person at the bar. So he probably like takes the menu and sits then waits for the person at the counter to arrive. I don't know what the other people are doing.
Yeah, what's
But
the rest of
like
you guys doing?
he's like kicking his feet, going oh, like he's really excited for his like cherry eclair that he's gonna buy.
I go up and ring the bell, not understanding what the problem is here.
Yeah. If there's no one like at the counter, I guess I'd just look around confused, ask the dwarf lady, is like, where is everybody?
She kind of starts gesturing about, like, they're here. And as she responds, Grekro rings the bell, and, from seemingly nowhere, there's now like 4 fairies just chilling about.
William's eyes just like lit up and go,
Aha,
oh.
see.
Fancy.
Oh, that is interesting. I say out loud in Elvish.
They start giving a bit of a snicker and look at you like they're flying really close to you. One of them really up in your face, observing you. Interesting.
A moth just flew in my face.
Slap.
No, this is real life. A moth
Oh.
just flew in my face.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
My immersion.
Interesting. Oh. And you understand the fairies start gossiping about the four of you having entered, and one flies over, kind of perches onto William's shoulder as he's sat there with the menu. Just looks down into it.
Which language do you use to speak with fairies? Or
These
would I know
one,
that?
these ones did seem to understand Elven at least.
William like turns his head, looking at like he looks at the fairy like he's like it take he's like going like points at the clingers. The queen looks really nice, doesn't it? And like after a second, you just realize he's talking to a fairy. He's like, what?
Pointing into the menu, it just flies off. And as
That's
and
a that's a fairy.
and as that one does that, the other three like go for the menus and bring one each to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Edgar looks for
This
something cheap and
is the
filling.
best cafe I have ever been in.
Something cheap and filling. Prices are not listed.
Okay, something he thinks is cheap and also filling.
Absolutely.
We don't know what's going on.
And then he points at it.
Yep. One of the fairies just flies away as you point at something on the menu. The item you actually pointed at would probably be the strawberry-filled pancake.
Okay, nice.
What about Barris?
William sort of just
Oh.
gestures for them to sit down at his at the table. So this is really nice, isn't it?
You know, I could go for a good scone.
I love a good scone myself.
There are three sorts. There's the blueberry-filled one, there's the cranberry-filled one, and raspberry-filled one.
Ooh, a raspberry.
As you point at it on the menu, the fairy flies away.
Quite an interesting ordering procedure they have here. Never been
They're,
here
they're
before.
fairies. They're fairies. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's happening right now. But it's certainly something interesting, and I quite like it. Beats being hit with a sleeping. Are we? Do you think we might be hallucinating?
It's possible, I suppose.
Oh yeah, can I inspect the dart, by the way? Or did they fall
Sure.
off?
I mean,
Is there
unless
anything distinctive at all?
give me an investigation check for the dart, I suppose.
Investigation, okay. Oh, nice.
I mean, it's a small dart with what looks like sort of like a hollow out in the dart, which is shaped in such a form that the liquid is stored at the front portion of the dart, traveling, and as it hits, the liquid goes around a small bend in the dart to inject it into the victim.
Like a wasp sting.
Sort of, yeah. It is the moment of impact which makes gravity do all the work, you know.
What a vicious little thing, though, that is.
Interesting.
Apart from that, being a dart, it does in fact have feathers to kind of keep it stable through the air to help make it easier to hit. Uh, the feathers, you're not sure what kind of feathers they are, but they are blue.
As William has worked most of his life helping out around Dalemead, I would imagine he's quite well versed in the world of birds. Could I roll a survival check to determine what type of bird his feathers are used?
I'll allow that.
I get to use my survival roll, and I rolled a 9.
I mean, it's a bird feather, some kind of bird. Definitely a bird.
This burb.
Is burb, yeah.
I mean, I wanna say, do they look mass produced? But Edgar wouldn't know.
Edgar would not know. But no, from what you can tell, apart from like how it works and that the feathers are blue, not much more to it.
I know I'm probably exhausting options, but I've thought that William would have heard a lot of stories from his uncle Mac about like stuff that it would like are there any like gangs that Uncle Mac would have like told about that used like darts? Like this would be
Probably
like a
not. No.
I was just asking if I could use like a history check to try and determine
Yeah.
if there's any like
Nah, I'd say probably not.
fair enough.
What does Gurakuro point at on the menu? What sort of pastry-ish food would he like?
I asked the fairy what they recommend.
The fairy seems really perplexed at the question and just motions to the menu.
Which one do you like on the menu?
It takes a moment before most likely randomly just pointing at one thing.
Then I will take that, thank you. And a cup of coffee.
What you ordered is in fact a strawberry milkshake.
Well, that's perfect. I'll go with that. But maybe skip the coffee then.
The fairy, kind of confused, flies away.
Can I make an insight check to see if these are actual fairies or if they are like a magical summon of some kind? Or
Absolutely, go ahead.
what should that be? Arcana?
Well, if you're inciting the actual creature, that would be insight. But if you're trying to discern if it's a magical effect or the like, it would be Arcana, yes.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking for. If they're actually fairies or if there are magical creatures, I mean, if they have been summoned or controlled in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for Arcana check.
Ugh.
You're not that into like illusion magic or enhancement magic and stuff, but I mean, yeah, something feels off. Like it was flying right in front of your face, but you didn't feel any sort of breeze hitting you from what you'd imagine be coming from their feathers or whatever, their
I
wings,
mean,
you know?
is this a I'm like, is this are we in a themed restaurant?
It certainly has nice dragon aspect to draw people in. The artwork is very
Dragon
nice.
aspect with it doesn't really fit though, having fairies with like a dragon aesthetic attached to it.
Does seem an unusual combination, sure.
Shall we sit down at the table and discuss further?
I thought most people were always sitting.
Yeah, I thought we were already.
Oh, I thought we were standing up by the bar, or like had the desk to order or something.
If you were sitting, you were sitting. If you were ordering at the desk, you were ordering at the desk.
Well, I was ringing the bell, so I assumed I
yep,
was
yep.
standing up.
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, you can all go ahead and be seated at William's table or another table if you'd like to. I'm not going to decide.
Did you just assume our tables?
I did not.
Okay, good. Edgar sits down and says, "Who would attack us like that?"
Yeah, I mean, yeah, city's kind of going to hell. Seems like. I did the same day were nearly pickpocketed by some street urchins, were attacked by brigands here, broad daylight.
Or someone who doesn't like that we ask questions about wine.
Sorry, I had to go to the toilet. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's fine. They've sat down and you're now discussing why you were attacked.
I am lamenting the
There are many reasons.
decline of the city in these times.
Yeah, the
Thing
city
is-
seems a lot worse than I thought.
I have like there are many reasons we could have been attacked. Really, but first thing is we kind of stand out. 'Cause think about it, we're a halfling, a half two halflings, a dwarf, and a priest. It's like the opening to one of my uncle's really bad puns.
Sounds like a beginning of a joke.
It is like the beginning of a joke. We're literally two halflings, a dwarf and a priest have just walked into a bar.
Now we just have to figure out the punchline.
I don't know. Let's think of we're getting off topic. The first reason I can think of that we've been attacked is because we're investigating the mystery of the missing wine and booze. The second reason is that we found a necklace in the middle of in the middle of a sewer.
Why would such a powerful thing be in a sewer?
I have again. That's a question that we don't know the answer to.
Or have you considered that the rise in crime is just a sign of the time? That it has nothing to do with us specifically.
Let's just recap what has happened happened today. We have been what has happened not just today. These last few weeks, we've been we we've been in wrongfully, and most of us have been wrongfully imprisoned.
Of course, wrong.
We've had a
We've
bad
we've
couple of
we've had,
weeks.
we were forced to endure going into a sewer and fighting literal walking fungus. We had to we got out, had quite a lovely evening, and then the next day we have been after went shopping, we got pickpocketed, uh, and then pickpocketed. insulted by the nobility, which is standard practice for nobility, and then attacked by people with sleepy things. And then we found a lovely cafe.
Yes, it
At
has
least,
been a very busy day, or
at
2
least
days.
there's one positive to
Yeah, it's
this
all
day.
the span of 24 hours. Thereabouts.
Yeah,
It's been a
something like that.
long day.
Yeah, well, if
And that
we've
gets
been
me
attacked,
is it a standard bandit would not use expensive sleepy dog.
I do wonder if anything's become of our other companions.
They'll be fine. We told them to meet us outside of the gate.
And it's about this time that all of the food that was pointed at in the menu is delivered by a about 3.5, 4 foot tall dragon. Sets your things. Yes,
Like an actual dragon or like a
But
dragon
William
man,
just
or-
looks down and goes, "Oh."
it looks like a dragon.
Could you roll insight on this? Is an actual dragon.
Or perception, maybe?
Another check.
Anyone wanting to do such a roll, go ahead. Ooh, a natural 20.
Two natural
What?
20s.
Two nat 20s, wow.
Wow. Kurakuro? Yeah, something's off. Perception? Uh, what exactly are you trying to perceive?
Like, is it a costume or is it?
Oh, no, yeah, I meant on Barris's,
Oh,
first of all.
Yeah, probably something along those lines. Like, is it an actual dragon, or is it just like some sort of clever disguise?
Uh, Barris, you're not entirely sure. It looks really convincing. And Edgar, yeah, no, this looks extremely convincing. This looks like an actual dragon. A small one, but you know, from what you can tell, it's a dragon. And William as well, trying to insight whether or not this being is trying to pass it off itself off as a dragon or not. It 100% seems to be a dragon.
smells like something magical is going on here.
Why is there a dragon in the middle of this town? Why are you in the middle of this town? Is that what? Do you want money? I don't actually. The menus didn't actually say how much this costs.
It starts moving back towards the kitchen.
What's going on? He looks over at the. Is the dwarf still there? And like, what's going on?
The dwarves gives you the brightest smile, giving you a nod. Welcome to the little dragon's den.
Now that's an actual dragon.
Yeah.
William just like looks and goes, Oh, wow. You know when someone's just seen something that they're like, and they're like completely like they William's just seen something he's read about only in stories, and
Yeah.
he's like glazed over, like he's just like trying to realize, oh dear, like he's gone into a fugue state of like what's going on.
Yeah. I would probably most of us have never actually seen a dragon before.
You know that scene from Jurassic Park where when the paleontologist finally sees like a stegosaurus and he's like unable to stand. It's like that.
If he was standing, he would quickly be sitting again, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's the same reaction here.
That's an actual like he like William slowly takes a bite of like the cream filled like
Yeah.
eclair thing.
Yeah, Edgar is just staring at the door in disbelief.
You hear the dwarven woman pipe up for a moment. Well, it's not a real dragon. Not real. It really is, but it isn't. You're new, yeah?
William just sort of like really goes, yeah.
It's a long story. Potentially several 500, 600 years, thousands. It's a really, really long story.
You have a clip notes version?
What was that?
Shortened, sorry, something we Uncle Mac used to say. Don't know where it comes from. Shortened version.
Abridged.
Ooh. Right. So like the the story part quick, yeah.
Yeah.
So this shop is, well, not really here, but really here. Because that thing is a dragon, but not really a dragon. It's the spirit of a dragon.
And this shop is the
It's
is
realm.
part of that as well.
It's, yeah, kind of.
So this is the essence of a dragon that decided it wanted to be a cafe.
Yes. I think.
That that is the most awesome thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's,
So,
if someone were to write a book, it would probably sell well.
so
I think it would have to be a children's book.
No, it could be a light novel. Probably.
I no.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like a thick book, but smaller.
I see.
I'm welcome, by the way. And she actually takes a moment to stand up and goes over and extends her right arm.
Williams is like shakes himself out of the fugue state and shakes back.
I'm Wilma, the owner of the place. Kind of. I own the building. What you see, it's mine. What it's I. It's a really complicated story. Come on, please don't make me go through this. I hate doing this.
I don't think that any amount of explanation would be good enough to explain why there's a dragon working in your kitchen with a group of fairies as your butlers and
No, exactly. Thank you. You're one of the few people who actually recognize that before I explain everything, spending about good better part of an afternoon.
be fair, I am in a fugue state, and I would probably be more interested in the story if I wasn't so absolutely overwhelmed with happiness that it has looped back round to complete calm.
I understand you. That's fine. That's fine. Well, enjoy your pastries and your milkshake.
I will.
Perfect. And
Do
she
we
heads back.
How much is this, by the way?
Oh, don't worry about it.
So, I'm not dumb enough to know that I don't get anything. What does the dragon get out of this?
Oh, money. Ah, right. I have to explain that. Shit. When I say what it costs, and I say don't worry about it, it just means the fairies have already taken the money.
He quickly checks in his pocket for.
Yeah, you're 3 copper short.
Very efficient. I like it.
Grakro, you're 2 copper short. Edgar, you are. Wait, what did you get?
the strawberry pancake?
Oh yeah, that's 2 copper that as well. And Barris got the
Raspberry scone.
raspberry scone. That's 3 copper. And yeah,
Very efficient.
checking
is
your
amazing.
pouches, you're all short that amount.
Those fairies are sneaky, but I love the efficiency.
Yeah, it's an interesting atmosphere. Good food, reasonable prices. This
This is-
restaurant
Come
could do
here
quite
again.
well.
I'm definitely coming back at some point.
We'll love to have you. And she kind of waves her hands to you and heads back to her little seat.
I know this is going to sound weird, but do you happen to know anything about the booze, about the booze shortage?
I don't drink.
That's fair. I wouldn't drink if I lived in this place because I would constantly think someone had spiked my drink.
And that's about where I'm gonna end today's session.
I love how it's just William is so elated that it's looped back round to him being, yeah, this is fine. I've never been more happy in my entire life.